Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. Well, we hope everyone had a great Shabbos, and here in the northeastern United States, a long holiday weekend. No, you're not missing something. There were no episodes dropped on Thursday and Friday. Shtickle Yontif here. I speak, of course, tongue-in-cheek, but we call it the Yontif that we can drive. Thanksgiving, it's, as I mentioned in the last episode, people celebrate it. They don't celebrate it, but certainly it's time to be with your family. So we begin a new week, a new learning. Please continue davening for Chayalei Tzvah Agana Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol B'tzvei Yisrael, return of our hostages, L'kvuras Yisrael. One Jewish hostage, one non-Jewish hostage that need to be returned for proper burial. We learn each day L'ilei Nishmat Seren Daniel Shimon ben Harav Daron V'Shel Shem Gadamo. Next chapter, Hanoseh V'Higizman Tefillah. Hanoseh L'darko B'Rechev V'Higizman Tefillah. Let's say somebody's driving in a car, and it comes time to start davening. Imhu noheg, if he's driving, then you can't drive daven. We say don't drink and drive, don't daven and drive. Because for obvious reasons, one cannot concentrate properly, either on the davening or probably on the driving. And of course, this is a great concern of pikuach nefesh. You put other souls in danger. So therefore, one should pull one's car to the side and one should daven. It is not uncommon, especially let's say in the summer months when people are traveling all over Israel. Let's say you take a trip up north and you come back down and you're heading back to your destination and you see the sun setting, that you will see cars pulling off the road, or people getting out facing towards Yerushalayim to daven. Sometimes you can even assemble a minyan. It's actually quite a beautiful thing. And we continue. And if, let's say, someone else is driving and you want to get the davening in so then you could daven while you're sitting down, because they're worried that if you're going to stop the trip in order that you could stand outside and daven, either you'll miss your destination or you're going to have to daven so quickly, and you won't be able to have the proper kavanah because you have to get to where it is you need to go. Better in that instance, you should daven Shemoneh Esreh while sitting down. Because we learned earlier in Halacha Daled, so that even in B'diavad, a person davens Shemoneh Esreh sitting down, you're still going to be yotzei. And we learn also that even if you're davening while sitting down, you should still keep your legs together, your feet together. You should try and face to Yerushalayim. And in places where you're supposed to bow down, at least while you're sitting, bow your head, or at least make the motion as if you are bowing down to the ability that you can. If a person is traveling on a bus or on a train, again, if one ever takes the high-speed rail from Yerushalayim to Ben Gurion to Tel Aviv, vice versa, you'll often see people davening on the train. And there you have a little bit more space. If you're able to stand and have proper kavanah, then you should stand up for Shemoneh Esreh. But if standing up is going to ruin your kavanah, you should sit again with your feet together. You should try at least, if possible, stand up in order to bow. And then sit down. And when you finish, you should stand up and take the 3 steps back. A long note here also. Note number 12, worth looking at, about standing up and sitting down while on public travel and facing Yerushalayim. If let's say you're taking a long bus trip at night, and you know that by the time you finish the trip, there'll still be time to daven Marav, you should wait till after the trip. But if you know that, well, it'll be so late that I won't have proper kavanah, you're going to be tired and you're going to want to rush through the davening. So one is allowed to daven Marav sitting down while traveling. Now, the permissibility to sit down while during Shemoneh Esreh and doing alone, this is only a temporary fix. In other words, it's not something one should do regularly, but during a specific trip, or something of this circumstance that is beyond your control. But somebody who travels this way every single day to work, or he can't find good time to daven standing up. Kol zman she'ein ones, as long as it's not out of his control, it's not an ones. Ein r'shoy lahakal lispal b'kfiyas b'yeshiva. One should not regularly daven sitting down. But let's say you have certain buses where they have set minyanim and you could stand up, then certainly this is allowed. So for years and years, when I learned in yeshiva in Monsey, there's a company called Monsey Trails. It's a nickname called the Chas Bus because it was driven by Hasidim. And they had a mechitza, they had a minyan, a sefer Torah. As a matter of fact, when they'd lane, the bus would pull over for 5 minutes so they could lane. But you had a regular minyan, so people would daven that as a regular minyan. That certainly is allowed. One, however, should ideally daven regularly in a shul. If, however, the choice is davening in a rapid-fire minyan in a shul and you're not going to be able to concentrate versus a nice, leisurely paced minyan on the bus and you'll be able to have better kavanah, he says it's better to daven on the bus. Again, lots of interesting notes here. And one might also interject here the notion of davening on a plane. That certainly davening in one seat, if you don't have the ability, the space, or you don't want to be in every single person's way, while davening on a plane, let's say especially the planes to Israel, anybody who's ever flown to Israel knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you're sitting near the minyan or where the minyan people go, and sometimes it's just downright chutzpah and it's just inappropriate. So sometimes I would say it's certainly better to daven in your seat. If you could stand up, you can. If not, not. But this certainly falls under the rubric of this halacha. So we thank you for joining us again for another week of learning. Please continue davening for Chayei Tzvah Yisrael, for Shlem Chlop Tzvah Yisrael, for our hostages of Nishmat and Daniel Shemoneh Esreh.